Hey guys, Bob here, and we got Vincent with us today, and we're going to be giving you a review of The Amazing Spider-Man Part 2. First off, we're going to do this one, and then we're going to do another one that gives away kind of all the details, because for some reason people seem to like those. I don't know. Like if you look at my top videos, like all the top 6 are all spoilers.
I guess people like to know what happens.
They don't want to see it themselves, but in this one, we won't give away too much. It's going to be, like usual, we'll talk about the basic plot, characters, what we thought of the movie, and since it's a theater, we won't give it a score, we'll just give you a recommendation of whether or not you should see it. You'll have to come back for the Blu-ray review if you want our full score. Also, we're giving away an actual Spider-Man 2 Blu-ray, Amazing Spider-Man 2. You gotta be careful there. Yeah. We're gonna be giving that away. If you haven't seen it, we did an unboxing of the Walmart pre-order. Well, I did it, not we. The pre-order, and you can enter on that, and this one, and then the unboxing. We'll put a link to that, so if you've missed that, and that'll give you all the rules. Basically, you just need to leave a comment on this video stating that you would like to win the Blu-ray when it comes out, and we'll pick a random winner when it is released. So, Amazing Spider-Man 2. We weren't the hugest fans of one. It's a good movie. Didn't live up to the other original. Whatever. I don't even know how to refer. I just call it the Tobey Maguire. I'm not sure how.
The original Sam Raimi trilogy.
Yeah.
I still prefer that trilogy so far. But I mean, the reboots have done a pretty good job with the material they've been given. So.
Okay, so Amazing Spider-Man is technically different than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just slight differences in the story, which like I'm not real familiar with the comic books, but I know that the Amazing Spider-Man has differences than the original Spider-Man, and can be confusing when you've seen the other trilogy and watch this one, and it's so similar, but yet there's changes. And so let's just start off with this one. They are graduation day.
Yep.
Okay, before graduation day, let me just say that in the first one, it seemed like the whole point of the movie was to find out what happened to his parents. Yeah. And you never find out, and then you find out in the first 5 seconds of this movie.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they kind of just start it, and then they just stop, like, halfway through the movie in the first one, and then you're like, okay, what was that all about?
Yeah.
And then in the second one, like Steve said, like, in the first 5 minutes, it's pretty much revealed to you, so.
Yep. So, okay, so now they're graduation day. Peter Parker still doing his Spider-Man thing, saving everybody, and they're going to college. I think is kind of what's going on. They don't get into a lot of it except for that.
It's one of the. So let me start by saying I liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but it's not without its flaws, and I think most of that is the writing, and that's one of them. Is they never really explain what their path is after high school graduation. Yeah. So
like Peter Parker is somehow living off very minimal amounts of money making Spider-Man photos. Yeah. His aunt's still taking care of him, I guess.
Yeah.
And this keeps having me all day. The girl's name is escaping me.
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy. She's, I assume, in college.
she's
going
on her way. Yeah.
She's going to go to another college. She's not. It's a summer before college starts. Maybe that's the whole deal. This only takes place in the summer.
In the summer.
So they haven't actually got to college yet. So there's no need to explain any of that because there's no worry.
That's true.
Okay, so that's what we've determined right now. they're the summer after high school, before college. Yeah. So it's hard to really say without giving away. There's another accident, of course.
Yeah.
What's the other kid's name?
Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn. He comes back. And he wasn't in the first one, was he?
No, he wasn't in there at all.
Okay, because I was like, what's going on? I don't remember.
His father was only mentioned in the first one. He was never seen either.
Yeah. So. And he comes back to take over Oscorp, and he's like long-lost friends with Peter. He doesn't know he's Spider-Man. He kind of comes back into the picture. They're showing off. I felt like they're kind of like giving you all these hints of future villains, but not having the comic book background. I really didn't know what anything was. I mean, they did show the Doc Ock arms at one point.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the trailers, you've seen most of this movie. I hate to say it, but you have. Because they show a part of for comic book fans, the Sinister Six. They're making a solo movie for this. Basically, 6 major villains team up and they fight against Spider-Man. This movie is basically a pretty huge setup for that movie. But again, if you've seen the trailers, you've already seen part of that scene already, so nothing's spoiled for that.
Okay, now I heard a lot of people complaining that there were a lot of villains in this movie.
Yeah.
But it's not like you think at all.
No, it's really not.
There's one primary villain.
Yeah.
And then like another little one at the end, and then another one at the end.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just fighting everybody. It's not at all like that.
Yeah, it's not like Spider-Man 3, the original Spider-Man 3. It's not like that at all.
Yeah. It's mainly Electro throughout the whole movie that he's fighting.
Yeah.
So I know we didn't say a lot. Did you want to add anything else? Just about the story. I don't I don't want to give away a lot because there isn't a lot to this movie.
Just as in the first one, it's mainly all about Oscorp doing all their experiments and their secrets and all that stuff. It basically carries on from the first film. So I mean, Oscorp is bad and Spider-Man has to try and figure out what's going on with it. So I mean, that's pretty much what it is, and he has to stop whatever they're trying to do.
Okay, so now let's move on to the characters.
Yeah.
I thought they were all okay. I liked them all. I thought Jamie Foxx made the movie. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was. Unfortunately, I got from Jamie Foxx's character, I got the Riddler from Batman Forever type of feel. To where the Riddler was obsessed with Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever, and Jamie Foxx was super obsessed with Spider-Man, and he kind of played it a little goofy when he was just his normal person obsessed with Spider-Man.
It was a little weird.
Yeah.
He's obviously supposed to be somebody who has some sort of mental disorder.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any friends, and he kind of has he's delusional even.
Yeah.
And but I liked him. I thought he did a really good job. I think he's doing a really good job. Everybody else, same as you could expect from the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Not much has changed.
Not much has changed. Spider-Man, he's gotten a little more cocky. He's a little more outgoing, I guess. He throws out a lot of one-liners, which kind of fell flat for me sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I noticed in this one they did try to make it more of a comedy.
Yeah.
Including having the Spider-Man theme as his ringtone.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But so there's the good stuff, I think. Let's talk about the things we didn't like, because I know there were a few things for me. The main villain is Electro. Mm-hmm. They don't even explain how he becomes Electro. Like, he's into an accident that should kill him, and then it's just like, no, he's Electro now.
I guess they're...
Like, he's dead on a table like this, and he just wakes up, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm Electro. And the name just comes out of nowhere. He's just like, I'm Electro.
He basically makes it up on the spot.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, how Spider-Man got bitten by a radioactive spider, Jamie Foxx's character, Max Dillon, gets bitten by radioactive eels, pretty much.
Okay.
And that kind of...
But they don't explain that in any way. There's no explanation. You see the eels, and you see him bite them.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, like how they had the transformation of Spider-Man, they showed what was going on inside his body and all that stuff that made him into Spider-Man. They really don't go into much.
Well, at least at some point they could have said, "Oh, look, yeah, he got bit by those radioactive eels and he died."
Yeah.
Like they didn't even. There was no mention of it. They're just like, "Oh, he's dead." Like, cover this up.
And then he's back as Electro, and then, but that's about it. So.
Okay, now next thing that really kind of bothered me about Electro. He is kind of pure energy, but yet when he forms back into a human state, he has clothes on.
Yeah.
Where did they come from? Now, I'm not saying I want to see Jamie Foxx nude, but I mean, he just explodes into electricity, and when he comes back, he has clothes on.
That is comic book logic, and you can't argue comic book logic.
Okay.
So,
my last problem I had with the movie is it focuses too much on the love story between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
If you really go back and you think about it, even though there's 3 villains in this movie, they're not even in it that much.
Yeah, they're really not.
Not a lot is happening. Yeah. There's some action at the beginning and the end, and a lot of it is the focus of their love story, which I thought was just overdone. Yeah. There should have been more action.
The first one did it really well. I think it handled the balance between action and the love story really well. This one, the love story kind of seemed to overtake the movie. for a pretty good part of it. To be honest, you don't really see much of Spider-Man in this movie. You see a lot more of Peter Parker, which isn't a bad thing, but I mean...
They're kind of focused on that on again, off again. Yeah. Are they, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, Ross and Rachel or whatever.
Ross and Rachel.
I don't know. The friends. Yeah, Ross and Rachel. You know, it to me brought down the movie.
Okay.
But that being said, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was better than The Amazing Spider-Man 1. We were kind of discussing whether or not it was better than the originals. I'm not really going to answer that, having only seen it once and not seen any of the originals in quite a few years. But I definitely thought it was better than the first one. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend seeing it. It's a good movie. What about you?
Well, I'm going to talk about some of the things I didn't like. It was strange. Let me start by saying I think the original Spider-Man 2 is better by far than the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think the original one handled the love story between Peter and Mary Jane in the original much better than they did in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought that movie, the original, was just perfect overall. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie so far, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't live up to that. And being a reboot, I didn't expect it to, but I expected it to kind of be almost as good. I thought the dialogue in this movie was a little bit comic booky. I know I'm a comic book nerd and stuff, but I mean, I thought it was just a little too cheesy at times, because some of the villains were like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man!" Oh, it's just kind of that weird comic book thing that the movie tried to take itself seriously, but then when you have dialogue like that, kind of takes you out of it. The action is really good. The CGI in this movie is amazing. No pun intended. Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn. I first saw him in the movie Chronicle, which is a really good movie. I really liked him in that movie. I think he's a really good actor. I think he is going to do great in the rest of the Spider-Man movies. I thought he really played the role of Harry Osborn pretty well. So overall, I think the original is better. I did like this one. I enjoyed it. To me, it's more of a setup movie than an actual sequel. But you know, that's to be expected since they're planning to make like 6 of these movies.
Seems to be how all these superhero movies are going. It's just getting you ready for the next one.
Yeah, pretty much. But you know, I did enjoy it, so I recommend you go see it.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you guys next time.